I have a very heavily requested video here. I'm going to be breaking down my current journal template. I'm going to show you guys how you can get access to this template for completely free, exactly how I use this template and how I journal going every single day. And hopefully I'm going to try to stick with this template. I like to make a lot of adjustments to my journal. But for now, we'll be rocking with this template, hopefully for the second half of the year, and we'll see how much data we can collect based on everything that's been up to date with my model. So I'm going to minimize my camera here so you guys can focus on my cursor and you guys can get access to the template. Now, if you do want access to this template right now, it's a very nice template, in my opinion, completely free. It is inside the Discord. So if you join the free Discord and you head over to ebooks, you'll see this link right here. You simply can put this link, click this link, and it'll take you to this template where then you can then duplicate the template and put it into your own Notion journal for completely free. So let's break down exactly what this template has to offer and what I've done with it. So first things first is this table. This is your master log table where every single trade you take will be journaled into here. Now, if you go over to journal summary, this is exactly how I journal. This is the easiest way to do it. This is a calendar view. It'll change every single month. So for example, the next month will be in here and you can very easily see every single entry. So how I like to journal is whenever I'm on the next day, for example, let's say we want to journal something on this day. I would just click the plus sign and then I would start filling out the properties of that and it'll automatically input there and automatically input it into the table. And it'll also give the date obviously right away. So that's a very nice thing. It'll automatically sort them out. So let's take ahead and go and do an example. Let's say we had a win. So the way I like to label these are the asset and the size. The asset, the direction, and then the session, sorry. So for example, let's say we took a trade on gold futures. We would say MGC1, short, and then we'll say AM. So that's how I like to title these. That way I just have a very quick brief view. Now this summary portion, you want to skip over that. And let's head to the account. You want to put just an evaluation, funded, or a personal account. Let's say we took this on a funded account. And then you want to do a grade. This is the most important part of my journal. I want to rate myself out of 10 on my performance. It does not matter if I win or lose the trade because it's random whether I'm going to win the next trade or not. What I know is my edge over the course of 50, 20, 30 trades will be profitable, right? But in terms of the grade for my performance, how did I trade? Did I take a good setup? Did I follow my rules? Did I manage my risk well? Did I manage my emotion, right? Was I in control? Let's just say today we had a good day. Give ourselves a 9 out of 10. Right? Net P&L, this is the dollar amount. Let's say we made $200. Let's say the account size is, I don't know, 20K or whatever. So we made 1% or whatever that is. So let's just say 1%. I like to do a percentage because then I can compare evals and fundeds and my progress, right? Because it changes and then varies. Also, when I have a personal account, I want to be using percentages as well. So pre-market plan. This is always something I do before actually trading. So for example, today I had a pre-market plan at 9 a.m. or 9:15, and then when I trade 9:30 or the morning session, I'd already have this in here. So this is something done before market open. You want to put it on a notepad or you can put it in the journal right away. That way you have this already there labeled. It's what you're looking for going into the market open. The reason I include this in my journal is because a lot of the times in the past, I would find myself having a really good plan going into the market and it would play out. But yet I wouldn't execute the trade that played out. I was hesitant, even though it was perfectly aligned with my plan. And then I would end up taking something else that wasn't aligned with my original plan. So it's good to have a plan, write it down, and then you can go back and see. Trade breakdown, so the trade that you took, why you took it, right? What model, maybe what time, the drawn liquidity that you were aiming for, the entry confluence, whatever you want to put in there is completely up to you. Just break down the trade that you took and why you took it. The session, AM or PM, this was an AM trade. The model, I have all my models in here. Let's say we took a protraction model. Economic calendar, was it there an orange folder news that day? Was it FOMC, NFP? Was it a CPI day? Let's say today was CPI, for example, so I can just add this one. And then you want to go to the executions. Executions is the actual execution of the chart. So you want to see the chart from beginning to finish of the trade. This is after the session. So I want to include the entire morning session in this picture, showing my personal executions in that grand scheme picture. So whatever you want to put in there, do download the image and then save it. And then reflection, the most important part, emotion, what happened during / after the trade, any lessons, any key observations, anything you missed, etc., right? Or could have done differently. So stuff like that. Just want to reflect anything you could have done differently. So stuff like that, you want to reflect. This is the most important part. I take back what I said earlier. This is the second most important. This is the most important. The reason I like this grading section is because now my goal going into the day is to achieve like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 performance on my trading. And I know in the long run, if I can aim for those 8, 9, 10 out of 10s for my journal, that'll scale into my trading, right? Instead of being, I want to make $200 today, I want to say, I want to aim for a 9 out of 10 in my journal. That way, my chances of making $200 increase over the long run, right? So that's why I'm targeting not money, but process. And then finally, there's one hidden property right here. Simply click and put the month that this journal occurred in. The reason you want to do this, and right now it doesn't seem so important, but it's because eventually, when you have multiple months journal, this table is going to get quite messy. So what you can do is click settings, I believe, and then group by month. That way it'll have a drop down menu, and this one I forgot to do, and that'll always show up like that. So we have a month of July, and you can see there's a drop down menu for all the trades in July. That way the journal will be very organized, okay? So, and then what the last thing I would say is I always have these green and red circles here. So this one was a win. I'll just put a green circle, just a nice thing to put in there. And I think I just do the contract, so MGC short. Yeah. So you can see it's very nice and organized. And this is actually a little bit off. It's supposed to sort by date. So there you go. Now it's fixed. I don't know why that changed, but it should be all good now. And you can see a very nice journal here. And if you want to toggle this off, you can keep that toggled. Eventually, you'll have the other months in there. And then obviously you have over here the entire summary of the journal. Now, let's talk about other features inside this journal and how you could expand on it yourself. This is a recap, a quick recap of the trades of this week. Why do I have this here? For one, it looks quite cool. Secondly, it's just a very nice, very easy way, because eventually you're going to have a lot of stuff in here going on. But you can very quickly see here the last trades we took this week, right? You have the first, the second, and how I did this week. Now, if you wanted to take this a step further, you could add a section into the journal, I think something like this, where you could potentially reorganize this and make it so it shows your win rate, it shows your profit on the week, etc., etc. Now, I don't want to do that because me personally, I also use TradeZella, which automatically gives me my equity curve, my risk to reward, my profit factor. That stuff is automated, right? So for me, every time I take a trade on my funded or live account or whatever it may be, I just import that data into TradeZella. It's very quick, takes around 10 seconds. And if you have TradeZella, I'd recommend you do the same. And I'm not going to go over that in this video because that's a paid thing and I want this video to be completely free. Again, if you wanted to get into the actual like automations for stuff in this journal, you can do that. You can get profit factor, risk reward. You can automate everything. I'd recommend asking ChatGPT or find someone else who maybe did it online. I don't need that for this journal. This journal is a very simple way for me to reflect. This journal is for me to reflect and to just keep track of the trades that I'm taking. It has nothing to do with risk to reward, profit, my equity curve, my maybe percentage drawdown or gain or whatever on the month. That is all separate TradeZella. So the actual numbers and statistics, I'm getting that from TradeZella. It's a lot more organized. I'm not even going to try to put that in here when it's going to be that much better on TradeZella. The data is very, very good. And that's it, right? So, and for this would be this. So if you want this template, like I said, it's in the Discord. The last thing I will go over, and I'm just going to delete this one because obviously this was a made up one that we just did for right now. But if you want to see another access or what you can do with this journal, obviously you can change this picture. This is for me. This is also for me. And this is a little mental note here. And I'll probably delete these as time goes on. But for now, I have these little mental notes that you can just keep going here forever and ever. Whatever notes you want to put, maybe there's something important you want to keep it standing out. For example, today we talked about crude oil and gold futures presenting our model, but I didn't want to execute because, well, I haven't executed them in a while, and I didn't really want to lose. I was not ready to lose, right? I could not accept the risk of that trade fully. I know I would have been a little bit upset if I had lost a trade on gold futures because Nasdaq was pushing the all-time high and it was not easy to trade. So I didn't take the trade, but I did make a note. We could potentially start to explore. So if I start telling myself these things in advance, saying, okay, you know what? Today, if the model forms on gold futures, I will take it. I will plan in advance and I'll prepare myself to accept the risk of the trade in advance, right? But when I just see the model form, I wasn't ready to take that trade. So I think that's a very good decision, and so on and so forth. I also journal no trade days. They look like this. So no trade, 0, 0. Always give myself a 10 out of 10 for no trade, unless I miss something, which I'll usually put in the reflection, but usually I don't. And that would be a no trade day. So I also journal those days. And that is my journal template. If you want access to this, like I said, you can join the free Discord. The link is in the description. The journal template will be right here in the ebooks. Obviously, I want you to join my Discord. But if you just want the template and you want to leave, you can just do that. There's a lot of useful things in the Discord. For example, my 1-hour ATM model PDF. I have some of these books, the Mark Douglas Trading in the Zone. I have a couple of ICT notes, core content notes from 1 to 12, the trading framework, predicting market moves. This is my own book, ICT 2024 mentorship episodes 1 to 24. So any of these are all written by me. If you want access to those, again, it's all in the free Discord. And if you guys want to stay in the Discord, I appreciate you guys coming through. And I will see you guys live on Monday. Peace.